Like, I could have just dead, instantly dead. Like, that's how much I used to take. I've actually took myself to the hospital and I've had to admit to them, I've been on cocaine for the last couple of days. And they sent me to the same jail that my dad took his own life in. Sent me to the Green. Ended up getting like 4.5 years from that day, November. I think it was November the 23rd. I just ain't touched nothing. There's probably nothing you can say to me that I haven't seen, heard or done. I knew I could help more people.
How much money do you think you wasted?
Why? Hundreds of thousands.
Yo, Curtis.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Convos with Curtis. If you haven't already, please go and subscribe to the channel. And today I'm with a guy who's really been through it and come out the other end. And I've been excited to have a chat with you, bro, because one of the lads at my barbershop sent me your profile and he said to me, this guy has got a really interesting story. So introduce yourself. Who are you? Where are you from? And let's say what you're doing now.
Yeah, my name's Jamie. I'm from a state not far from here, Bromford. And what I'm doing now is I'm on a sober journey, you know. I went through the struggles with drug addiction, alcohol addiction. And yeah, I've been sober now for nearly 8 months, 9 months. And yeah, I'm just trying to inspire people and show people that when you're stuck in addiction, that's not just life. You can come out the other side, because I was stuck there for many years. So now I'm just finding myself, getting my self-love back, you know, feeling fresh, feeling strong, making people happy in my family that I've let down before. So yeah, we're at this stage now where everything's good.
First of all, congratulations, bro, because not many people get to tell the story that you're telling right now. For most, it ends bad,
for real.
as we know, especially where we're from.
For real.
So hats off to you. Not only have you turned it around, but you're now giving back, helping other people. And as you've told me, you've got plans to do a lot more than you're already doing, which is amazing. But before we get into what you're doing now, I want to go and pick your brain about everything that happened beforehand.
Yeah, man, let's go.
So let's start with school and how school was like growing up.
Mad thing. School, boy. Primary schools, I probably went to about 10 different primary schools.
Bad for early then.
Yeah. So there was not many schools that could handle me, you know. I was just a naughty kid at school, you know. And then in them days there was like no, like these days now they got ADHD and, you know, I think they calm down the kids now with tablets and all them things there. But I just used to just run riot in all the primary schools. I've been to probably every primary school on every manor in Birmingham, to be fair.
What do you think about the ADHD medication and how they're medicating kids now? Because some people will say that it just turns them into zombies.
But to be fair, I don't agree with any kind of medication. Like,
I'm in the same boat as you there.
Some medication for me, especially with children as well. It's just, you know, it's a new thing, you know, in this generation. Like 100 and 200 years ago, we weren't taking on medication. You know, if you was a naughty kid, you get disciplined by your parents, you know, by your elders, you'd have respect. There's always going to be naughty kids. And I think a lot of schools these days, a naughty kid, they can't handle them. Do you know what I mean? They can't handle the kids.
I think that is down to lack of discipline. Like years ago, if you was naughty in school, you'd get a whack.
Yeah.
Or if you played up at home, you'd get a whack. Whereas now you can't do that.
Now, good that you said that, because if someone said to me, like, would you take this medication or would you listen then? Or would you think listening if you had medication would help, or getting a whack? To me, the man I am, like, getting a whack, I definitely would listen to getting a whack when I was a kid.
100%.
Like, when you get a whack, you're going to feel it and you're going to listen in it. And then you're going to change your behaviour.
Yeah,
do you know what
100%.
I mean?
So what was your home life like growing up?
My home life, I had a good home life. I had loving parents. You know, when I was young, really young, there was just me and my sister in the house. You know, my dad lived with me, my mum. They were both great. there was no substance abuse or anything. There was no abuse or anything like that. We was fed, was well looked after, clothed. Everything was good, really, to be fair. Me and my sister never used to get on, but that's just brother and sister shit, you know what I'm saying?
Normal sibling
Just
stuff.
normal sibling stuff, yeah.
So what about secondary school?
Secondary school, same thing. I left primary school and then I think I lasted to the end of year 7 and then I got expelled from Kingsbury in Erdington for good. They wouldn't take me back. Then I went to a few centres. I went to a centre in Newtown, which that was a bit different. Coming from this side of town, being a naughty kid from this side of town, and then going to that side of town and seeing them naughty kids, it was completely different. Do you know?
In what way?
In a sense where it was like I can explain it. They were chasing me to the bus stop instead of me chasing them to the bus stop. Do you know what I mean?
It just got a whole lot naughtier, basically.
Yeah, it got a whole lot naughtier. Do you know what I mean? And then I remember, like, I think someone picked me up in a car and them things there, and I was like, "Yo, this is new, but fuck it, I'm hopping in." Do you know what I'm saying?
Stolen, I'd imagine.
Yeah. So it was different. And there was only 3 people in the class as well. And then I think I got to year 10 being in that centre and then never went back to school. So I never done no GCSEs. I'd go to when you see them memes and you see the kid outside on the bike, like the naughty kid.
You're that guy.
I was that guy, you know what I'm saying?
So you got kicked out year 10 completely, never went back to school?
In year 7 I got kicked out of mainstream school.
Sorry, the centre?
No, I didn't. I just year 10 I think you just leave then.
Oh, you just leave?
Yeah.
What did you do then? Are you into a load of fuckery at that point, or is it just...
No, when you say fuck it, like, what do you mean? Like, nah, not really. I was just hanging around, really.
Just being a kid.
Just being a kid in town, hanging around in town, you know. Waiting for my brethren to come out of school and whatnot. Yeah. Them times there.
So, did you get a job or...
Nah.
What happened then?
Probably hit the job centre, bro.
Yeah.
Probably hit the job centre.
We've all been there.
Yeah, probably hit the job centre, you know, still living off mommy, living off dad. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm still a kid, innit? So I'm still saying to my mum, yo, you got a £5, you got this, you got £2. You know what I'm saying? Catching bus here, there and everywhere with my mates, just fucking around on the roads.
So where did it start to turn bad for you then?
In what sense? Like, when you say bad, like...
Well, obviously you've come out the other end of substance abuse now, so...
With my addiction?
Yeah.
My addiction didn't start till kind of late.
Oh, really?
Fair. Yeah, like... Because I was never one of them youths where... See, I wasn't in school smoking. Like, I'd be in the smoking area, like, with the smokers, and as you say, the naughty kids. But I wouldn't be smoking. I was anti-smoke, you know. If someone smoked a fag around me, I'd be like... Nah, don't move it. I'll stand there, you know.
Why?
Because I was fit when I was in school. I used to play for the school football teams, run for the school. You know, I was mash up man at sports day. You know, I was healthy. I used to play football as well. Out of school, I used to play football as well. So, yeah, I didn't have no substance abuse till probably like 25, 26.
So what happened from 18 to 26?
Obviously, my dad passed away when I was 18.
Sorry,
he went to jail. And then he passed away in jail, which now I know fucked me up, but then I didn't know it fucked me up because I was just with my mates, you know, running around doing boy shit, you know, kiddie shit. I never took it on. If anyone spoke about it, it's like, fuck that, man, he's gone, and it's just one of them. Fuck it. So I never, ever grasped it. But now I know, as an adult, that shit turned me sideways. Like, it really deeply fucked me up. So, yeah, the only time, I never used to speak about it at all. So then when I did start, you know, drinking and getting drunk, and then putting the powder up my nose, for some reason, I just brought it up, and then I found out that I was just talking about it every time I'd have a drink and every time I'd have a line. Do you know what I mean? Week after week.
So that's the trauma coming out, bro, because that the drink and the substance will take you to a different place in your head.
Yeah.
Where it's going to dig up all of the shit that you've buried so much. Do you know what I mean? So now you're showing your trauma because of what you're doing at the time.
I think it was always there, but I think because the person I was and the people, I won't say, I can't blame the people I was around, but where I'm from in the state, you know, we was all men, like we all thought we was men, and we have to be strong, and, you know, talking to people. Like, I can talk to everybody now about things, you know, because we're all adults and grown, but as kids, you can't just bring up, oh, I feel, like, I don't feel, you know, I feel a bit sad today because my dad's passed away. Like, they just laugh at you. They probably slag you off about it when you was young. Do you know what I mean? And look at him talking about his dead dad. Like, you know, like that. When you're young, ain't no one got no time to talk about people that have passed away or want to know how your feelings are or what kind of trauma. We don't even know what trauma is when you're that age. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's fucked up, bro. That, like, I'd say if you're 30 and under, that was the mentality. Like, you don't talk, especially men, we don't talk about our problems or how we're feeling. We just bury it and get on with it. But that creates a can of worms in the future, as you know, because when you're doing whatever you're doing and all this stuff's coming back up, you're realising that what you actually done is suppressed it for all them years.
Yeah, definitely.
Do you know what I mean?
But then the way I brought it out was wrong. You know, the way I used to voice it was wrong because I used to get wasted, sniffed up, and say some fucked up shit and embarrass myself around it. Do you know what I mean? I'd get emotional in front of people that I shouldn't be getting emotional in front of. So then I have to deal with waking up feeling like a dickhead and embarrassed that I've cried about my dad's death. And I'm not that guy. Like, when it's not even that I'm not a guy, because I am an emotional person, even when I'm sober. You know, I don't mind dropping a tear. But I can stand on it. When I'm sober, I can stand on anything.
Yeah, that makes you a man, bro.
I can stand
Probably
on
wasn't
anything.
taught that.
I can stand on anything I do and say when I'm sober. So when I was voicing these things about my pops, and then waking up, I'm thinking, fuck's sake, man, I was drunk, sniffed up. I can't stand on anything I used to say, you know, because I was using substances and they was talking for me.
And then the anxiety kicks in about what you've said or how you looked.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
There's been times, when I've had to go to my dad's grave and apologise to him personally, like, yo, sorry for saying this about you when I've been, you know, and reasoned with him. Do you know what I mean? Many times I've done that.
So, obviously, like we were saying, you've come out of that now, but let's go into, if you're all right talking about it, the years of addiction and what it done. Because I feel like for people, obviously you're following on social media, hats off to you, you speak out and help so many people. But for the people that are going to be watching this, which is predominantly your audience, they need to understand how dark that time was for you. Because they might not even know that they're in it right now.
Yeah. So when I first started taking cocaine, you can't have addiction. If you take something once, you can't really have an addiction, I wouldn't say anyway. So when I first started taking it, there was probably many years where it didn't really affect me or anyone around me, you know. So that's probably why it did get so bad, and that's why I probably did get a big addiction, because for the first couple of years, it was fun and games, you know. I'm partying, going to the clubs, you know, having one or two lines, buying £20 worth for the night, waking up, there's still some in my pocket. You know, I leave that till next week or the week after or when I go back out. So I've still got a little bit, you know, and then slowly, you know, people start saying to you, like, yo, you all right? And at the start, actually, there'd only be a few people that would know I actually do it, because I weren't just openly like, yeah, I'm sniffing cocaine. Do you know what I mean? There'd probably be like 10 of us out, and there'd be 3 of us that would nip off to the toilet, without anyone else knowing, and have a few lines, you know what I mean? Without anybody knowing. You know, my missus didn't know at the time, none of my family members, because it's embarrassing. The person I am is like, prior to me sniffing coke, when I used to see people sniff coke, I used to be like, oh, like, nah, man, what you doing? Or if people used to do it around me, I'd get angry with them. Or if I found out one of my mates was doing it, I'd be like, yo, what you doing, bro? You get me? You're moving mad. Fuck all that. And then all of a sudden it just licked me in the face. But yeah, so for the first 3 years of doing it, I didn't even think I had an addiction. Do you know what I'm saying?
3 years.
Yeah, 3 to 4, probably longer than that. Do you know what I'm saying?
And how did it progress? Like you said, you was going out, you was having a little half or something like that.
I'd say the first year or two, it was all fun and games. Like I didn't bring up my dad then, so I didn't just have a line and just bring my dad up straight away. It was all fun and games. I was on the dance floor partying, this, that.
Living your life.
Living, socialising with it. And then there was I'd just do it in clubs. And then 3 years in, all of a sudden now, you're just sitting in someone's kitchen. Do you know what I mean? There's no music on. Do you know what I'm saying? There's 4 or 5 people and we're all just talking about some mad crazy shit. Do you know what I mean? Like, we've all got stories to say and we're all saying it at once. Do you know what I mean? And then that's when you realise, yo, the first 3 years I wouldn't wake up and think, well, I was sniffing in the club. I feel like I got an addiction. But when you're in someone's kitchen for days, that's when you start thinking to yourself. But you tell yourself there's nothing wrong with you. And at the same time, when I'm doing all this, I'm not broke. I got a nice car. My house I got a roof over my head. I can buy what I want when I want. So you just think everything was cool, innit? And what I know now is because I was doing it and I probably subconsciously knew something was up, but you just back yourself. As a human being, even if you're in the wrong, you back yourself and you front it. You're like, no, there's fuck all wrong with me. You know
Especially you, because you're a very strong character, bro. Like, we was talking off camera a minute ago and I was saying you're the kind of guy that if you're all into something, you're all in. There's no 50%, there's no 60%.
Yeah.
Like, obviously now you're into the gym and you're into helping people and you can really see that you're all into that. So I can only imagine with your addiction and you talking about days in the kitchen, how heavily you was in.
How heavy I was in. Like, I look back now and I think, whoa, like I could have just instantly dead. Like, that's how much I used to take. Like, I've had people message me and say, nah, you can't take that much in one night. I'm saying, listen, like, you can, because I used to do it. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not a game. Like, I'm not out here chatting shit. Like, I'd have a half ounce in my pocket. There'd be 4 of us, yeah? And by the time everybody's gone home, the half ounce is gone. Do you know what I'm saying? And that's probably over 2 days. That's probably like Friday to the Sunday. The half ounce is gone between 3 people. And some people could keep up with me, yeah? And some people couldn't. They'd be like, nah, do you know? And then there's been times where, like, everybody would go there and just be me and one person. We're both just fucked in the kitchen or in a room and we're just panicking and, hearts are pounding, looking to phone ambulances and because we've overdone it. Do you know what I mean? Like, too much.
What does that feel like, bro, when you've overdone it and you feel your heart start to race?
Like, you could always feel your heart racing, but when I say overdo it, like, your body cramps up, you're sweating, yeah. It's like, all I can put it down, it's like you just think you're going to die. So imagine your mind's telling you, like, you're going to die now. Do you know, like, if someone kidnaps you and they've got a gun to your head and you was in some mad foreign country and these people just do kill people all the time. So you know now, this is your time, you're dead. That's how, when I used to overdo it, that's how I used to feel. Like, I'm definitely dead. Like, I used to pray and say, yo, let me get through this one. I won't do it again. Like, you just think you're going to die in it. Like, yeah, I've took myself to the hospital. I've actually took myself to the hospital and they've had to give me fucking stuff to bring my heart rate back to normal and, because it's just going crazy. And I've had to admit to them, yo, I've been on cocaine for the last couple of days.
Fuck.
And then they're like fucking looking at you like, what the fuck you doing, wasting our time? Then you feel like a dickhead.
If you don't mind answering this question, what's the darkest it's ever been for you?
The darkest
Yeah.
in my addiction.
Yeah.
The darkest in my addiction. I'd probably say being an addict and letting my children down. Like, see, overdoing it to me, I can get over that. Like, I've overdone it, fuck it, I can get over it. But being in my addiction and having children and not being the dad I need to be and I should be for them, that's what used to kill me the most. Like, that, because of my dad as well, my situation. So when I was 18, that happened to me. I can't let my kids down. I don't want them to be 18, 17, 16 or any age without me, like, in their lives or strong as fuck. Like, if they ever need anything, or imagine they go for addiction, to get me, and I've had a heart attack because I was in someone's kitchen fucking around. Do you know what I'm saying? So things like that, I used to think, yo, you could have had a heart attack last night and left. So them things there, that's when it had to stop. But that used to happen all the time. So I used to get them feelings all the time and say to myself, you're never going to do it again for your kids. 4 days later, it would happen again.
Mm. And what was, obviously, with the super, super high comes super, super low.
Yeah, yeah.
So what was the come downs like from, obviously, I know a lot of people that have done this stuff and they've been in your situation, but not as deep. So what is it for you when you, obviously, let's say you start on a Friday, you finish on a Monday, that Tuesday morning when you wake up, how does that, what's that like?
I think I'm a bit different too, because I've been around so many people that take the cocaine. I knew I was always different to everybody else when I used to take cocaine, because I think I've only met a handful of people that would do what I used to do. So when you say a come down, I used to get come down mid-sesh. So I'd have a line, yeah, a few lines, and I've been sniffing for like 2-3 hours, yeah, and I'd instantly get depression. I'd start getting emotional and hate myself and hate what I'm doing and hate my surroundings. And I'd just be like, everyone else is on a vibe, hyping up and like, yeah. And I'd be like, fucking look at us, man. Like, well, what you happy about? Look at the fuck, look, we got coke all over your nose. We got snot coming out of our noses. You know, we're fucked. Come on, guys. Like, don't none of you see that we're fucked? You know, and some people be like, shut up, man. Stop fucking up the buzz. Do you know? And then you get the odd one that'll be like, yo, you're right. Do you know what I mean? And then me and him or me and her would just start having a chat about how fucked we are. And everyone else is on the other side of the room just, you know, blocking everything out. So I used to get come downs and be in my horrors mid-sesh. Do you know what I mean? And then when I'd stop having coke and I'm getting sober, you just feel like shit. You're looking at your phone, you're panicking, you know, over things that are not even there. You know, you just sometimes you don't even want to be here. You just think, fuck this, man. I've had times where you'd rather die than face the world, because that's what the coke makes you feel like. It fucks with your emotions. Do you know what I mean? And then drink some water, have some food, and then slowly, hour, I wouldn't say hour by hour, but probably day by day, it starts wearing off and you start coming around, and then your personality and you will start coming back. Do you know what I mean?
This is a lot. It's a lot, man. What was the turning point then? When did you say, how many years was you doing that?
Probably about 12 years.
12 years?
Yeah, about 10, 12 years. Yeah, so I started when I was 20. I'm 37 now.
Jesus Christ. You're lucky to be here.
No, for real.
You're lucky to be here.
The last 5 years of it, that's when it was serious. So I'd say the last 5 years of it that's when I knew something was up and everybody else knew. But I'd still get on with life. You know, in all that, you know, I was still, you know, I had my own businesses. In all this time that I had my own businesses and shit.
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about the businesses.
So I had a cafe. I opened a cafe over in Wheeler Castle. That one was deep in my addiction then, you know. And I thought, you know, I need to start making some money and start building something for my family. Because I always want to build. You know what I mean? I like to build and I want to show my kids a good life. You know what I'm saying? So I opened my cafe. That failed because I was hungover all the time. And then putting it on everybody else to run my shit that I should have been running and overseeing. Do you know what I mean? I used to go there hungover and be out the back, and I'd tell people to come to the cafe to support me, like my mates and stuff, or people that, not even mates, just associates that would come and support my thing, and they'd ask for me, and I'd be in the back sleeping because I've been on a bender for so long. Do you know what I mean?
And at that point, you don't even want to speak to them. You don't want to face them.
Or sometimes I wouldn't even be sleeping. I'd just hide, and then I'd tell my staff, like, "Yo, tell them I'm not here," because I just still had that. It was still in my system, and it makes you scared. You get me? And yeah, then I opened a raw dog food shop. But when I was opening these things, it gave me. I wouldn't do it as much as I was. So in a way, I used to do things I used to throw myself into things and think, right, I've got to sort myself out now. I'm going to sort myself out. So for a couple of weeks or 3-4 weeks, while I'm patterning everything up and sorting all these things out, I wouldn't be doing what I used to be doing as much. So instead of doing it 4 times a week now, I'm doing it every 2 weeks because I've got shit to do. Do you know what I mean? And then after 2 weeks, you're back on it again. Do you know what I mean? But so it did, me throwing myself into business or anything would help me, because when I've got shit to do, I like to get it done. You know what I mean? But the same thing happened with my raw dog shop as well. I opened that.
I actually heard about that. I actually heard about that shop. So what happened to it?
Basically, I just run it down. No, I didn't run it down to the ground. I just didn't used to open it. You know what I mean? I wouldn't turn up. And then after my shop opened, a few other shop opened in the same sort of area. Do you know what I mean? So if I used to have people ringing me saying, "Oh, where are you?" And, you know, messaging me. And I was probably in someone's kitchen somewhere, bruv. Do you know what I'm saying? So then obviously everyone goes to other places. If we can go somewhere else, they'll go somewhere else. And then, just couldn't keep up with the bills and shit. You know what I'm saying? I weren't making no money and just couldn't keep it running, so I just got rid of that. That was for me, that was a big thing for me, because I was sort of, I messed that up. Do you know what I mean? Like, I fucked that up. It was nobody else. Because I know if I weren't addicted to nothing at that time, I would have been good off. I would have been happy. That would have still be open now, thriving now, if I wasn't in addiction. And I know that deep down inside, because there would have been no problems. Everything would have just run smooth. And even if there was any problems or issues, I would have been able to overcome them, because I was in sane mind. Yeah.
This stuff really does take over and ruin people's lives.
Yeah, man.
Which is why I'm so glad that you've come out the other end and you're helping other people now, because there isn't enough help. But what was the turning point for you coming off addiction? How did that happen?
I've always wanted to come off addiction. So for years and years, I've always told myself, you're not going to do it, you're going to stop. You know what I mean? So when you say turning point, I got locked up, you know. I caught a charge. I was in a pub and sniffed up, drunk, left the pub. Some bullshit got said behind the scenes, so I went back to the pub and I beat somebody up. And then I got police chasing my car, crashed, and got took to jail. Ended up getting like 4.5 years. Out of that, I served 13 months. But when I was in jail, I told myself, that's it now. You know, the day I got locked up, in the police station, I said, this is it now. I knew I was going to jail. There was no way I was getting bail. So I said, yo, instead of moaning and bitching about me worrying about my sentence, I didn't worry about it, the jails. I just said to myself, yo, you're just going to get sober now. You're going to use this as for you to get sober. And when you come out, that's it. Then you're done with the drink and you're done with the drugs. And they sent me to the same jail that my dad took his own life in. So they sent me to the Green. Do you know what I mean? So that was a little bit raw as well for me. So I was like, yo, imagine them demons, yeah, that, you know, took him, for him to do that. Imagine they try and come for me. So I knew I had to be extra strong now. And there's no time for weakness now. Like, this is it, you get me? You need to do your sentence and come out. Because there ain't no way you're going out like the way he went out and leaving your children and the rest of your family, my brothers, sisters, my mum. Do you know what I'm saying? So,
how was jail for you?
boring.
Boring.
Boring, man. Boring. Yeah, that was it. Boring, really. Because at the same time, it sounds mad. I don't want to sound like I'm promoting jail. Do you get me? Because it's definitely not. I'm not promoting jail. But jail was easy for me. Do you know what I mean? It was easy. It was just boring, and I miss my kids, innit? Do you know what I mean? That's it. I miss my kids, and that was it. But at the same time, what I was going through before I went to jail was like how. So I'd rather, the way I was before I went to jail, and even though I had my freedom, jail was easier than what I was doing on the road, you know. So that's why it was easy for me, because being on the road in the kitchens for days and days and sniffing and drinking, and that was hard. That was harder than jail. Do you know what I'm saying? So when I went to jail, this shit's easy now. I'm lying on the bed watching TV. I ain't acting a fool. I got my own thoughts. Yeah. I weren't messing up. There was no regret when I woke up in the morning. So it was easy. I was more... it was easy, to be fair.
So a month into jail, that's obviously probably the longest that you've been off it in years and years.
Yeah.
How was that feeling? Like, because at that point, in your mind, you're overcoming it now.
Yeah.
You're losing the addiction. You're obviously feeling better.
It's funny how you said a month, because after a month, I started noticing changes in the way I'm thinking and the way I felt, the way my body felt, you know, the way I could interact with people. Do you know what I mean? I never used to be able to interact with people when I was sober, because cocaine and alcohol took my ability to, my personality. So before I had addiction, I could speak to anybody. Do you know what I mean? Like now, I wouldn't be able to do this if I was, even though I would have been sober, I wouldn't have been able to sit there and talk about my addiction if I was 2 weeks off cocaine and alcohol. So even if you're off cocaine and alcohol for a week or two, so you're not actively under the influence, I still never had the ability to hold a conversation with people. I'd have had to have a line or a drink to hold a conversation. So when I was in jail, I was a bit offish with everybody at the start. But then after a month, you start getting your mojo back. When I started getting my mojo back anyway.
I think alcohol addiction is looked over.
Definitely.
Myself. Obviously, if someone has a cocaine addiction, we look at that like it's dirty. But there's so many people that drink every day, or they'll binge for 4 days of the week. And we kind of look over that. How bad is the alcohol addiction as well as the cocaine?
when you say alcohol addiction, because I was a binger, I wasn't an alcoholic, so I wouldn't wake up and need an alcoholic beverage in the morning, you know, because I used to have breaks in between, so I didn't actually get them symptoms of an alcoholic, do you know what I mean? But I think alcohol is actually worse than cocaine, the what it does, because from my experience anyway, because if I drank 2 bottles of brandy, yeah, I'm capable of anything, absolutely anything. Now, if I had 2 lines or even a baller of cocaine, my mind's still kind of there. Do you know what I mean? Alcohol used to make me violent. That used to make me violent. I could do anything. Like, I'd just lose it. I'd wake up and I wouldn't even know what I've done. Do you know what I mean? But you can buy that from the shop. Now, the stuff that you can't buy from the shop wouldn't make me act like that. Do you know what I'm saying? But I never used to sniff without taking alcohol as well. That was another thing I learned about myself in addiction. You know, because people used to say, oh, you're a cokehead. Like, my family members that you cared for me used to be like, oh, you're a cokehead, you need to stop sniffing, go to NA. That's, I think it's Narcotics Anonymous. But I realised myself, it's not the cocaine. I did have a cocaine issue, but I wouldn't sniff if I never had a drink. Because when I'm sober, I wouldn't put powder in my nose. So my sober mind would never tell me, have a line. My sober mind would say, have a drink, yeah, and you won't have a line. So my sober mind would say, just have a little drink, but you're not going to sniff tonight. Fuck the sniff, you don't need it. But then once I have 1 or 2 drinks, straight on it. It just literally takes 1 drink.
It goes hand in hand, don't it? I think most people with a cocaine addiction drink. Okay, so let's talk about you coming out of jail now. So you've done 13 months inside.
Yeah.
You're completely clean now. Probably feeling amazing.
Yeah.
And you've come out of jail. How was that? Because obviously you're going straight back into the same environment, around the same shit, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
And that's the real test then.
But this is where my turning point was, because when I got out of jail, I was probably sober for 2-3 weeks, and then I thought I'll have 1 drink. I won't have no coke. Let's have a little drink. I'll never sniff coke again, but I can't not drink. So I had a couple of drinks. Everything was smooth, you know. Had a few drinks, went home happy. Thought, yeah, I'm all right. I can probably do it again. Done it again. And then I think one day I'd done it and then I had some coke, but nobody knew. I didn't do it with anybody. I'd done it on my own. So me waking up and not nobody knowing, I didn't really care because nobody knew but me. Do you know what I mean? I didn't let anybody down. Do you know? I let myself down a little bit, but because I'm myself, fuck it, I can get over it as long as nobody else knows. I won't do it again. And then I got bladdered again, done it again. Then a couple of people find out, and then you're like, then they have a little go at you. And then a couple of incidents happened. You know, I got wasted a couple of times. A few messages, a few phone calls. Fucking hell, man. Then I started realising, I'm the same. I'm becoming that same person as I went into jail, which I don't want to be. And I remember one morning, my son come into my bedroom. I weren't hungover like bad like I usually was in the past years. But he come into my room and he just said, "Oh, Daddy, I love you." And the night before that, I give some abuse to some bar staff at a pub locally. I called them some names and stuff, you know what I mean? And when he said that to me, something just clicked into my head, like, yo, you need to stop this now. So from that day, November, I think it was November the 23rd, I just ain't touched nothing.
November the 23rd of which year?
23.
23. So how long are you clean now?
Coming on to it about 4 months off a year, innit, is it?
I should have just done the math, shouldn't I, really?
I didn't go to school, bro. You know that, bro.
So you're absolutely smashing it. As I can only imagine how hard it's been in the first few months to say no to going to the same places, to say no to being around the same people.
You have to isolate yourself.
You've obviously got a driving force because you've opened a few businesses. You're all in on whatever you're doing. And then now I want to talk about, obviously, that's the dark side of your story. Thank you for sharing that. That's very vulnerable, by the way. And not many people have got the bottle to do that. So hats off to you. Now I want to talk about the good, because there is, what did I call it, a silver lining. There's light at the end of the tunnel for anybody watching that's probably watching and thinking, fucking hell, that's me. Do you know what I mean? There'll be a few people watching and thinking that's me.
Yeah, man.
Or maybe they think,
I get a lot of that.
I'm not that bad. I do it, but I'm not that bad. And the truth is, it's all the same.
I get a lot of that on my Instagram. People.
That's what I want to get into.
Yeah,
so now you're motivating people. Talk to me about your Instagram.
So when I was stuck in addiction, there was no one. I felt just stuck, and there's no one I could relate to. You know, I didn't see any way out. You know, so then when I started going to the gym, and I just knew, because I never wanted to do it, I just knew there's something else out there that you need to lock into. So I locked into the gym. And I always used to say when I was on the session, I'm going to start helping people. That's another thing that I should just double back on. When I used to be on a session with people, I was the one that used to say, yo, we all need to stop. Let's stop this. And because I've always got my mind's going, I used to say, I'm going to help people soon. There's going to be a day where I'm going to address substance abuse and suicide. That's what I always used to say when I was drunk and sniffed up. So then when I did get sober, I thought, right, I need to do something now to help others. Do you know what I mean? And get it out there. So I opened my Instagram and just got on the camera and just spat how it is, what I was going through and where I'm going to be heading. And if anybody needs any kind of guidance, my DMs is open and there's no judgment. I've been there. There's probably nothing you can say to me that I haven't seen, heard or done, you know. And as I got stronger and stronger, I knew I could help more people. Do you know what I mean? And then people was messaging me saying, yo, what you've said there in that video, I've done. Do you know what I mean? So then I'd give them steps how to not do that, the steps I've took. So when I'm doing my videos, I tell people, this is what I think. When they tell me their situation, I tell them, this is what I think, what you should do, you know, and try and help them. But also, like, it doesn't happen overnight. So I've had a lot of people say, I fucked up again. I fucked up for years, you know. I fucked up for so many years. It's not just going to happen overnight. As long as, and the people that do reach out to me, what I've noticed, the people that do reach out to me, they're already there. The people that don't reach out, they're not ready yet. When you're reaching out to somebody, and even just to follow my thing, you got, your mind's got to be somewhere where you know something's up and you want some change. You know what I mean?
I think the first part of it is admitting it to yourself, isn't it? That's
a hard thing to do.
A lot of people live in denial, and they think, a lot of people think I could stop if I wanted to.
Yeah.
How many times you heard that? I could stop if I wanted to.
I used to have bets with people on the sesh. I used to say, they used to say, I ain't got an addiction. And I used to say, well, let's stop for 2 weeks then. They'd say, yeah, come on, and we'll stop for 2 weeks. Within 4 days, I say, look, see, told you we can't do it.
And that's addiction. People think addiction means that you wake up and you need it. That's not addiction.
Yeah.
Addiction is the fact that eventually you're going to have to go back to that.
Yeah.
Because your mind, in where you are in your head, you can't say no. Not being able to say no is an addiction, and it doesn't mean that you have to get up and do it every day. It doesn't mean like people have an image in their head of people shaking in the bed needing it. That's not realistic.
Yeah.
The reality of it is, can you walk into that environment and say no? Not many people can.
It took me a lot to admit that I had an addiction. Like before I went to prison, I went to an AA meeting I went to a few. And one of the things that they say in an AA meeting, when you introduce yourself, you stand up and you say, my name's so-and-so, and I'm an alcoholic. Every time I went there, I couldn't say it because I didn't think I was an alcoholic. Like, I didn't think, it just didn't sit right with me saying it. Do you know what I mean? So since I opened my Instagram, I just thought, fuck it, man. You had an addiction. Fuck it. Fuck what people think. You had one, bro. So what's the point in saying you didn't have one when you did? You blatantly did. But it's hard to admit that, especially when, you know, like I said earlier, like, I had nice cars. You know, my kids didn't need for nothing. I had money in my pockets. You know, I was going on holidays. It's not like I was on the streets and, you know.
You could fund the addiction.
I could fund the addiction. So when you can fund the addiction, you're more likely to say you haven't got one. When your life falls apart and you can't even pay for it and you're in debt and, you know, people are ringing your family members because you owe them this money, that's when it's easier for you to say you're in addiction. I know people now, like right now, they don't think they've got an addiction. Do you get me? Because they're all right in certain aspects of life.
How much money do you think you wasted?
Why? Hundreds of thousands.
Because it's not cheap, bro.
Not cheap. Gambles, I bought on gambling as well.
The three go hand in hand, don't they?
Yeah. Bought on gambling as well. Yeah,
Hundreds of grand.
Easy.
Fuck.
I'd go out, yeah, with a grand in my pocket on a Friday, and it'd be gone by Sunday. But that would be like I'd have a grand, 500 a grand cash, and a quarter of coke on me, and it'd be gone. And then the week after, I'd do the same thing.
Calculating that over the years, that's not a joke.
But it didn't start off like that. It didn't start off like that. But I was never somebody as well that I wouldn't go beyond my means. Is that the right word? So I know
wouldn't go beyond your means.
Yeah. So some people, they'll just be subbing and they're getting hundreds and thousands of pounds worth of debt. I wasn't that person. Like, if I never had the money for it, which was probably never, I wouldn't have done it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I tell a lie. I'm chatting shit because there was some times where money's scarce. But that's the thing that I had about myself. So if my money was getting scarce, yeah, and shit was looking a bit rocky, I'd realise, oh, yo, you need to fix up now because shit's going south. So then I'd sort myself out for a few weeks and, you know, put shit in place and, you know, slow down. You know, like I'd slow down and recuperate, and then boom, I'm heavy again.
Yeah, you've got the money to do it again now, it's like, fuck it, why not?
It's like people with the wages, you know, like, if you're getting paid monthly, yeah, the end of the month, they'll go heavy. No, the start of the month when they've got paid, they'll go heavy. Come mid-month or at the end of the month, they've wasted everything. So now they've just got to slow down a bit because they know they've got to wait a week or two to get paid.
I used to work with a guy, not going to say his name or where I worked. This is going back probably 10 years now anyway. But we'd get paid a nice amount of money monthly. And at the end of every month, he used to owe every single penny of his wage to the dealer.
Yeah.
Every single penny. So he's working the whole month for free, pretty much. Not for free, but not to benefit himself.
Yeah.
He'd owe every penny, and we're talking $2,000 to his dealer at the end of the month. And I used to look at this person and think, what the fuck are you doing? Like, but to them, they're so lost in it. It's natural. Like, see, they're at work doing cocaine. Like, why are you even coming to work?
One thing I've learnt now, being in addiction and coming out of it, like I would never look at someone in addiction now and say, what the fuck is that person doing? But before my addiction, I did. I used to be like, yo, why are you wasting your money on that? You're stupid. But now I know why they do, because I've lived it. Do you know what I mean? But one thing, a positive thing I do want to say to people that are watching, that are spending their wages and spending their rent money and their kids' money and their missus' money, you know, you can stop. You've just got to have the right mindset. You know, you might try and stop and fuck up, but you can stop. And then when you do stop, you know, put it in the past, and then you will see the money that you've got. You'll see that money, and then you'll appreciate the money more. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not the end of the world.
Cass, can we take a quick timestamp here, please, bro? Because what I want to do is I want to put your Instagram on the screen right now, for anyone that's watching this that is going through it. So there's somewhere for them to come, because you now are a mentor, whether you know it or not. You are. You're helping people, and they feel like they can come to an unjudged place and speak to you. So anybody that is suffering with addiction right now, follow the Instagram on the screen and reach out, because you really are helping people. But I want to talk about what you're doing now. So where's your life at right now?
My life's good at the moment, you know. I've got a good relationship with everyone in my family now, my kids. I feel good, you know. I think I was depressed when I was in the addiction, but now I'm just like, I'm in the gym. I work down at Foundry. Training 6-7 times a week. Yeah, I just feel good. You get me?
Good.
Like, I feel good that I've fighted off them demons that I had. Like, I've never felt better. I think even before my addiction, I didn't feel this good. Yeah, I didn't feel this good. All my emotions on my own. Everything I can stand on and I believe in. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I just want to help and show people, like, yo, if I can do it, you can do it. You know what I'm saying? Because, to be fair, and I'm not just gassing on this one, like, I was gone. Like, I was on death's door. Real talks. There's not many people that was sniffing as much as me, like, on the level. So I've come from a place where not a lot are. I know there is definitely people out there that are there and been there, but there was only a small percentage of us. And the other percentage, it's going to be easier for them to do. Do you know what I'm saying?
So if you've done it, they definitely can.
They can 100% do it, man. 100% do it. You got to switch up your mindset, want it, put a plan in place, and just stick to that plan, and it will happen. And if you do fuck up, don't worry about it, man. We all fuck up. Everybody fucks up, you know. Everybody in everything that they try and do, it doesn't work the first time sometimes. Do you know what I mean? But every time you do fuck up, you get stronger. Use it as fuel. Use the fuck up as fuel. Fucking hell. And then go harder and harder and harder. Every time you mess up, you're getting stronger. Believe it or not, you are getting stronger. And then you'll get to that stage where it will happen. And then you'll be like, yeah.
So you work at Foundry Gym now.
Yeah.
So for anyone that wants to come and see you in person, maybe, rather than sending a message.
Chelmsley Wood, yeah.
Chelmsley Wood, Foundry Gym. Find you there, holding a few records.
That's it, man.
Go on, tell me what that record was again.
I done 51 reps on bench press, 60 kg. But like I said earlier off camera, someone beat me the other day. But I'm still got the squat one. Do you know, I think it's 60 reps, 60 kg, 60 reps. But the lads down there, they're trying to beat it now. And also, I'm doing IVs, IV infusions. You know the drip bags when you go into hospital. So I'm doing them. So I've got all of them down there as well. I got a little clinic room at the back where
So what's the benefits of that?
all your multivitamins, minerals. I got muscle recovery, anxiety and stress relief. There's loads. There's whatever, however you're feeling. There's always a drip out there that you can put together.
And it's all natural.
It's all natural, yeah. There's nothing that can harm. There's no side effects. Do you know?
That's good. I was just going to say to you, you abused your body for so many years. And then now, for those that don't know, Foundry Gym in Chelmsley Wood is predominantly a muscle gym. There's some big blokes that train there. And you've come out the other end of all of this, and you're holding records in the gym. I know they're not world records, but it just goes to show how your mindset can just switch, and you can literally change your life. And I think from one end of addiction to being the guy in the gym that holds a few records, that is the complete other end of the spectrum. Do you know what I mean? It's not like you've done something that's great in between. Like you've abused your body for so many years, and now you're this big, strong guy that can lift all that. And it just goes to show that you can just switch it all around and just completely change your life.
Yeah, 100%. But another thing I'll touch on, being in addiction and getting through day-to-day life in addiction, that shit ain't easy. So if you can do that, going to the gym and holding records in the gym is light work, real talks. So that's another thing I'd like to say to people. Like, if you're getting up every morning in addiction, yeah, when you come out of addiction, these other things that people find hard, you'll find easy.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because the fight you've just done and got over, that was fucking hard. This one that you're doing now is hard, but it's not as hard as that one. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You've posted a video just today.
Yeah.
You're going to have a ding dong.
Yeah, man.
Let's have a quick chat about that.
Yeah, man. Ginger, you hollered me on it the other day.
Shout out Ginge, man. There's a
Yeah,
podcast out with him on this
Ginger
channel as well.
from
So
my bridging.
go and check that out.
Yeah, he hollered me the other day and said he's got a show on. Don't want to jump on it. And I said, yeah, I'll jump on it. But then before I put the phone down on him, I said, yo, let me sleep on it. You know what I mean? Because sometimes I just jump into things without thinking. So then I phoned him today and I said, yeah, I'll jump on it. So yeah, I'm going to be training hard now for the next 8 weeks, harder. Do you know what I'm saying? And yeah, give him man that smoke. So
Do you know who you're fighting yet or not?
Whoever it is, he needs to be ready because
You're going to be ready.
I'm going to be ready.
I'll put my bets on you, to be fair.
That's it, man.
With your
Trust me.
mentality and what you've turned around and what you've done now. There's not many people that are as mentally strong as you, bro.
Bringing that sober smoke, man.
Sober smoke.
Trust me.
I like that. Do you think you'll be nervous?
Definitely.
Yeah.
100.
Because that's natural.
Yeah,
No matter how big or strong you are, nerves when you're stepping into a ring, or the unknown, are always going to be natural.
When I get nervous though, like I need to feel some kind of feeling to be 100.
To thrive.
To thrive, yeah. I have to be under pressure to thrive.
Yeah.
If I'm not under pressure, then I go 50% or 60% or 70%. When I'm under pressure, I'm 120.
What would you say to anyone that's battling addiction right now?
Don't give up. You know, anyone that's battling addiction right now, like, lock into my page, have a look at my story, and just know it's not the end. You know, you're loved, you're wanted, you can get your self-love back, you can get stronger than ever. Do you know what I'm saying? Just keep the fire up, man. Just keep telling yourself you don't want this. Do you know what I'm saying? And it will happen. If you give up, it ain't gonna happen. Do you know what I'm saying? And distance yourself from people that can influence you. Do you know what I'm saying? And just plan your future and forget about the past. You know what I'm saying? And it will happen, honestly. But yeah, man, just keep the fight up. Real talks.
Amazing stuff, bro. Is there anything you want to finish up on?
Nah, you know, I don't think so. Nah.
One more question I want to ask you. Where do you see yourself 10 years from now? What's your dream?
To be helping a lot of people overcome addiction. So having like a corporation where people with addiction in cocaine and alcoholism that need help, they can come. And I've got a team of people like-minded like myself, and we can not just pretend to help, actually help. Do you know what I'm saying? And make a difference and show people, yo, I don't even want to show people. I want to do it for people and get it done. Not just show them, get it done with them. Take part in them getting clean and going on with their own lives, living happily with their families and friends, sober.
I think the best kind of person to help someone is someone like yourself. It's all right going to speak to someone that's never been through it. But realistically, if I was coming out of addiction now, I'd want to speak to someone like you, someone that's come out the other end. You're not going to sugarcoat it. You're going to be brutally honest. You're going to tell people it's going to be hard, and you're going to give them your experiences, which are probably going to be worse than theirs. And I think that is a strong driving force for people getting clean in itself.
Yeah, man.
Just because you are so much more relatable than a kind of meeting that they're going to, or we already know when people come out of jail and there's not real help in place.
There is real help. When you come out of jail, there is help, but people that come out of jail, they need to be helped by people that have been to jail as well. Do you know what I mean? If you've never been to jail, like when I went to jail, I went because I was high on coke and I was drunk. So my crime was a violent crime because of drink and drug-induced crime. My crime was a drug-induced crime. So when I come out, how can I speak? How can somebody help me that's never done anything like what I've done? They don't understand. They just look at me like I'm this criminal that's done a violent crime. Nah, I'm not a violent person when I'm sober. Do you know what I'm saying? The drink and the drugs made me be a violent person. You get what I'm saying? So if you don't know them things, you're just judging me as this crazy guy, like, do you know what I'm saying? But I'm not. I'm a loving person. My problem was with drink and alcohol, and that's what made me do my crime. Do you know what I'm saying? So you need to put steps for people that come out of jail so they can relate. And that's what I want to do. I want to help people that come out of jail and sort of give them the blueprint, my blueprint, the how I've done it. Give them that blueprint and say, yo, if you do this what will happen, because this is what happened for me. This is where I went. If I'd done that, I put that in place, and that's what happened. You get me? I started going to the gym. For instance, I started going to the gym. So then I wouldn't drink. You know what I'm saying? Well, I did go to the gym a couple of times. So then instead of drinking 7 days a week, I only drank 4. You get me? So get yourself in the gym first. And now you're going to cut 3 days off drinking. You know what I'm saying? Like things like that. You don't have to just completely stop everything. It's just things are gradually, you get me? Mm-hmm. And then you can say to people, so them friends there, I'd stay away from them friends there for a little bit still until you get strong enough till you can go around that circle. Go around these friends here. You get me? These ones are anti-drug. So be around them for 6 months. And then when you're strong enough, go check your old friends. Do you know what I'm saying?
See how strong you are.
Yeah, test yourself. Mm. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's loads of little things that I've done that I'd like to give to other people that come out of jail as well.
Well, listen, bro. I've got nothing but respect for you.
Yeah,
I can see that you're a loving guy and you've really been through it and you've come out the other end. And now I feel like you're saying to me that there were so many times that you could have died and you probably shouldn't be here right now. But I think everything happens for a reason. And the reason that you are still here and telling your story now is to help other people that have been in similar situations to you. And that takes the strongest kind of person. So hats off to you. And for anyone that's battling addiction, we have put your Instagram on the screen again now. Yeah, please do reach out. You're not alone. There is a way out of this.
Definitely not alone. You know what I'm saying?
There's a way out of it, and you can come and have an unjudged conversation with yourself.
Definitely unjudged.
Thank you so much for your time, bro. That was a really good and powerful conversation. Yeah, man. And I hope that helps a lot of people.
Love.
So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. This has been Convos with Curtis. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. I'm going to keep saying that until you do, because most people that watch aren't subscribed. And we'll see you again soon.